Happy Wednesday. Whew. I've got a little bit of, I've got about half an hour actually, so hopefully it won't go on that long. Just going to pick my little boy up from school. He started this week. First time ever, and he's only just turned 4, so he's the youngest in the year. So we had a few tears and it's been a bit heartbreaking, but he's getting there. Be bossing it soon anyway, bless him. I won't talk about what I think about the schooling system, that's for another time. But anyway, I've been sat in the garden looking at the sky. Weirdness, because some of the people that I follow across the world have got the same skies on the same days, you know. So that makes me think about conscious streams and what we might be projecting, and too much to ponder really. But a few of the planes have been over again, but today I noticed the patterns that they were. I was in a good frame of mind as I was, looking at the sky, and you hear that, here they come. But today they reminded me of the Angel of the North, which is a statue in Newcastle in England. I'll just show you a little, if you know, just Google it if you don't, Angel of the North. But the way they were meandering around, can you see? It's exactly the same as the Angel of the North, and the skies have just been too incredible today. Crazy. I'm going to have to upload some later when I've coagulated everything and got it all together. I'm still noticing oddities with the sun. To me, it looks like the sun, again, it's completely different than it used to be, because I used to stare at the sun, like I've said before, and it used to be yellow. And it's white and bright, and you can hardly look at it. But when I see what looks to me like a second sun, a small, bright white circle that moves, just behind it or around, through it, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I've got little bits of footage and stuff, which I might... You see the rainbow clouds and stuff as well. I was filming it for ages, but I think it's probably boring unless you're in the moment watching it like I was, you see. It's just... it's incredible for me, just the whole sky. Look at the whole sky. Anyway, I'm going to save that for some footage later, but I could look at the sky all day, and sometimes I do when I've got nothing else to do. But anyway, what have I been thinking about? I was going to do a video about kids and parenting, because when I first started awakening, it was clear to me that is some sort of thing that I am to do. But how I got there was... night after night of these, people call them the dark night of the soul, and these just awful, very terrifying nights and realizations and what comes from that. And I just feel it's a big part of this journey, is acknowledging dark within us, forgiving yourself and letting go of it. Just letting go of all this trapped energy within these points in our bodies. And to not judge anybody else. And there's a lot of talk about relationships at the minute, and there's a lot of separating and all this, and to me, like I commented this on something the other day, it's all, I feel like if your soul's being compromised, it's no one else's fault but your own. And that's tough to acknowledge. It's easy to push the blame on others sometimes, and it's silly to not acknowledge things that come towards you negatively from other people, but to deny yourself because you're not acknowledging the truth within you. Again, I feel it comes down to codependency because of abuse or narcissistic parents or alcoholic parents or whatever, but it's not knowing what love is. And to be able to truly love someone else in an honest way, you have to love yourself in an honest way or understand what that is. And so I feel like if your soul is being compromised and you're in a bad place, in my opinion, the best thing to do is to break away and fix your soul, and just see what becomes of that in the future. I think, especially if you have kids as well, a lot of people say you should stay together for the kids and don't just, but the last thing I wanted to do was break away from a kid's dad. I think it's the last thing that anybody wants to do who's got a family. It's not what you envisage, is it? When you get pregnant, you want the happy ending, but to compromise your soul is really bad, and it's not going to get you anywhere. I think with especially rhesus negative people, from what I can see and read and hear online, is that potentially we hold higher frequencies or more powerful vibrations, which can be damaging or wonderful. And so if you're not happy and you're not being true to your soul, then the unsaid and the unseen is, it's just as bad, if not worse sometimes. I see a lot of people staying together and it's way more traumatic for the kids. I remember thinking many a time when I was growing up, why don't my parents just split up, and then they won't be miserable, they won't be at each other's throats, there won't be tension, awful energies within the house, and and I know that my kids and me and the kids' dad we're all doing much better at the moment. So, I don't know what I think about all this. I think it's a personal thing, and I think we instinctively know within ourselves what's right and what's wrong with relationships. But yeah, I think if you don't really acknowledge the dark within yourself and what that could be doing to anybody else you have a relationship with, be it your kids, your partner, your friends and family, your parents, whatever, if you never acknowledge what you do, or what you could be projecting, or your shittiness, you're never going to get anywhere. You're going to keep in the victim mentality, and you're not going to be able to release these emotions, which I think heal your heart and your soul. Oh, and so yeah, it's tough. I just had loads of nights a few months ago, and the messages for me, they were all about kids, and I had memories of my childhood come back to me, and just huge, very personal, very tough lessons, which I think we bury. Nice song. But yeah, no, we're thinking about, again, I am a stuck record, but what you think and how you... It's like when I was talking about that Muse meditation headband that I'd got, and how I noticed that with a loving thought, the scores and the rays that were emitting, that were being measured through this headband, were off the scale. They were amazing, and I had a bit of a triggered morning because I've been trying to sort out a few mundane things, and I keep getting all this trouble with identifying myself. Got to get birth certificate reordered for me now, just done the kids for me. I've got to find national insurance number, blah blah blah, all this shit, and I've had to pay a few things, so I got a bit triggered, and I was a little bit snippy with this woman on the phone. But when I acknowledged the snippiness and the frowniness that I do a lot, I've got permanent scars, lines here from frowning my whole life, and I said to her, I'm really sorry for snapping, it's just this type of thing really gets on my tits. And she changed the tune as soon as I'd apologised and acknowledged, and as soon as I started breathing and, wanting good results to come out of this phone call. And so things went in my favour in the end. And again, you can say it's a coincidence, but I really do feel like it's the intent of the thought being a love base and not fear, anger, triggered response, reaction to things. And another thing, while I was looking at the sky, I could hear all these birds, and I was like, oh, this is bloody beautiful. Please come over, you know, because it's quite a residential area. I'm not exactly in the middle of nature anymore. It's not that one. Sorry, bear with me. Boring while I show you this shit. Oh, where are the birdies? I've got so much sky stuff, it's ridiculous. Oh, where is it? Here we are. Yeah, and I'll just play this for you. Look at all these birds that came over, and I just felt such love and peace, and I felt like I was connecting with them. And I'd just not seen anything like it, you know, so many birds, they just kept swooping over, and it didn't last too long, but I just felt like it was just a lovely moment for me. And so that made me super happy, and it made me just think, you know, that there is, I mean, confirmation, not made me think, I think about this all the time, but it just made me more consciously aware of what we notice and what we can create with positive, loving thoughts. Just beautiful. What a sap I am. Anyway, yeah, so I'm going to put some sky footage together later, if I can, because that was fascinating and beautiful. Yeah, I think I'll leave it here. Don't know if I'm talking shit as usual, but there we go. Happy Wednesday.